let's do select subject. What you're gonna pretty much do is you're gonna go to select subject. Once you do that, sometimes select subject won't be accurate, so you're gonna have to clean up with your polygonal lasso tool. If you guys don't know how to do that, there should be this logo right here, and you're gonna you're gonna right click on polygonal lasso tool, and then you're gonna click these two squares here to add it to your selection. So as you can see, this is not this part right here is not part of the selection, so we're gonna add it to our selection right here. So we're gonna go around and make our selection, and the one square with the outline square is to remove stuff that you don't want in the selection. So we're just going to remove that, and we're just going to fix up our mask here. This is really not needed for now, but we're just trying to fix it up just a little bit. So this is good so far. We're going to do Control J, and we pretty much have our mask. So first thing what I do is I basically go to camera filter. The most important thing in player treatment and retouching, first thing I boost up immediately is clarity, man. Clarity is the key to amazing player treatment. So boost that up around like 29-30 range, and I would put my texture around 20-30s around there. And then I would boost up the shadows just to reveal more detail, and blacks as well to reveal more detail, and the highlights down a little bit, and the contrast too as well. So sometimes I would do that if the photo is very low contrast. I would boost the contrast up, and then after I do that, I'm gonna go to color noise reduction. Basically what that does, it basically removes all those little colored pixels in the image, so you can see kind of like the difference it makes. And then I'm up the sharpening as well, and I'm gonna press OK. And once I do that, looks pretty good already. Once you do that, we're gonna do Control J. Make sure you're on your main layer. So I'm gonna name this subject real quick, and I'm gonna duplicate it, create a clipping mask, and I'm gonna name this High Sharpen. You guys can follow along. And then basically after I do that, make sure you're on your duplicate layer. I'm gonna go to other, minimum. Oh wait, no, not minimum. Filter, other, high pass, and make sure my radius is at 2.0. And basically what this does is it's gonna make my image more sharper, more dynamic. As you can see right there, if it's too much, you can lower it down. So I'm gonna lower it down as well. And there you go. Once you do that, I'm gonna go back to my main subject or my main image, and I'm gonna sharpen more again to give it a little bit more of a high quality image. Alright, so once we do that, it's time for the shadows and highlights. So we're gonna go to brightness and contrast, and I'm gonna lower down my brightness down to 40 and up my contrast by 33. It really depends, every image is very different, so in my case I'm just doing it like that, but always make sure it's around the 40 or 30 range, not too low. But that's unless if you're doing like very deep shadows. But here we go, we're just gonna basically paint the shadows here just like that. Sides right here, by the cheek, by the nose as well. You guys have probably seen this in my other video. Pretty much do the same thing. It's just a little bit of a few new tweaks that I have in there as well. And after we're pretty much done with that, I mean, it's pretty easy. We're gonna just keep painting right here. Alright. And I'm gonna kind of lower this down a little bit. Alright, there we go. As you guys can see, there's a little bit of these bluish tones. I don't really like them personally. I think it kind of ruins the image. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our adjustments layer, hue and saturation, and I'll put this on top, and I'm gonna go to blues and basically turn it down. As you can see in some images, sometimes the jersey is blue and it can affect the image or it can affect the jersey. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna invert the mask, press Ctrl I, and you can paint it by yourself. That's basically what I did here in the brightness and contrast layer. I basically pressed Ctrl I and painted the shadows manually. So I'm just gonna only paint the pants here because that's the only thing that I don't want to be full with color, and also the gloves here as well, because why not? And such as this captain too. Maybe the helmet as well. If you guys, oh, never mind. The helmet is blue, so. And then there could be some greenish tones here, so we can lower down the greens as well, and we can paint that as well. Or sometimes it could be yellow. Yeah, see, yeah, sometimes it could be yellow, so paint those as well if you want. So I'm gonna paint those. There you go. Now, once we do that, now we're gonna paint the highlights, so basically the opposite of shadows. Just we're gonna paint the brighter areas. So make sure your brightness is up and your contrast is up. And we're gonna invert our mask, Control I. And ooh, make sure your flow is down as well. Don't make sure it's at 100. We're gonna put that at 21. And basically what that does is kind of brightens up our image a little bit. And then now, these eyes are kind of bothering me. It's a little bit yellow, so we're going to go to our black and white filter, and basically what it does is going to make the eyes white. So we're going to invert our mask. In some situations, the eyes could be really white sometimes, but most of the time it's usually yellow or some other color. So we're just going to paint here. Right, and there's a little bit of gray that's kind of leaking out. And there you go. And you can also, while you're at it, you can paint some here as well. If there's still some tones that you do not like, you can paint that as well. I would recommend putting your hardness up because softness could leak everywhere around the image. So as you can see, you can just there you go. All right, after we're done with that, I feel like this should be a little darker, so if you want, you can put it a little darker. In my preference, I like it like that. And then sometimes what I usually like to do is I like to go into selective color and see how I like the skin tone to look like. So if I wanted to look really red, I would boost the cyan to the left. So I'm just going to do it just by a little bit, and then a little bit of magenta and a little bit lower there. So I'm just doing some tweaks here. Alright, so now we're gonna paint some deep and dark shadows. This is what you guys usually see in retouching or player treatment. There's always these very deep shadows. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to my adjustments layer, go to levels, slide this slider to the right, slide this slider to the left, and it creates a very dark exposure image. And now we're gonna invert our mask and repaint shadows here. So I would recommend putting my flow around 15 because sometimes it could be too much. But I'm gonna paint the shadows where either the hand or the arm is hitting the jersey or the helmet. Sometimes it could be a little too much, so don't do it too much, or else your player treatment is just gonna look burnt as hell, bro. And then once you do that, right there. Yeah, see, that's a little bit too dark right there. All right. So you do that. I'm gonna paint this real quick. Don't like how that's looking. All right. After we're done with that, we're pretty much done with our player treatment. And as you can see, there's the before and after of our player treatment. Hope you guys learned a lot in this video. I'm going to be creating more tutorials soon, but that's it for the player treatment video. Peace out, y'all. See you on the next one.